This house in Midtown Tucson may look like thousands of others in the city, but it's actually quite unique.
I had the vision of making it like a natural landscaping and living oasis, and so really, I mean, I was coming in from square one.
Since buying the property in 2010, Joe Sillens has been transforming his slice of the urbanized Sonoran Desert, going back to its roots in some ways. In the front yard, Sillens uses native and desert-adapted plants. They are grown in basins, which take advantage of water harvesting curb cuts that channel rainfall onto his land.
I've got some hackberry, quail bush, and jojoba, which are all great for local wildlife, and those plants have really thrived. I've got a mesquite and a palo verde that are doing great right now.
And when he needs to weed or trim, the backyard chickens get a salad bar. The chickens provide fresh eggs, and the adjacent trees in the garden produce fresh fruit.
Easy, Lily. Come on. Going for a trip.
They get much of their water from the outdoor shower Sillens installed.
And there's nothing better on a hot day than coming home from work for a cold shower. When that water comes out, as you can see, it just drains off the pavers here, and then it runs down the slope. And I've got a pomegranate tree planted nearby that takes advantage of that water. And so I'll be growing some nice fruit for a harvest coming up.
But the most unusual feature at this site, and probably the most talked about, is the room next to the straw bale guest house that he also built. It's a water-saving biological recycling system for your bathroom waste, your poop and urine, and it's not hooked up to the city's public sewer pipe.
This is my composting toilet. It's outside. It's the 55-gallon barrel batch method. So rather than the 5-gallon bucket method that a lot of people are familiar with, you just basically use this one for a few months, filling it up, and then you switch it out with another barrel. And then by the time the human manure is ready to remove and be used out in the garden or out in the yard, it's fully aged and you're not having to interface with any fresh material. Similar to composting in the garden, all the same ingredients, just slightly different in that you're contributing your own material rather than your kitchen scraps and things.
If you've never used one, don't despair. Sillens even has instructions at his outdoor commode. It includes information about the handy wood shavings close to the toilet paper.
And basically covering any toilet paper or any deposits that you've made. So the next person who comes along has a very user-friendly, pleasing experience. It just smells like wood shavings. It's not disgusting, well-managed composting toilet. Has no discernible odors. A lot of times it's just social stigmas or psychological barriers that we have. I think having examples like this and having more people have the experience can demonstrate how well these systems function and how great of a solution this is for our water issues here in the desert.
I'm excited to have all of you here tonight. So it's interesting, I forget how many of these classes we've led, but each one seems to be getting more and more popular.
At Watershed Management Group in Midtown Tucson, like-minded residents can learn about various water-saving measures, including the toilets. The class covers basics such as permitting, options when it comes to toilets, and how to use the end result, the human manure, on your land.
I love it. I love after 4 months I have that finished processed human manure, take it out to my fruit trees, amend the soil around my fruit trees, and then grab an apple, grab a peach off that fruit tree. It's a delicious cycle.
Not gross.
Not gross at all.
Members say their goal is to increase knowledge and understanding, engage the community and regulators to bring these toilets out of the shadows.
I had that ick factor myself many years ago. It took me a while to get over it, but now it's part of the natural systems, natural processes.
Supporters admit these toilets will face resistance until the general population is more comfortable with the concept, so they recommend other steps you can take to conserve water. The biggest residential water guzzlers are our yards, so you can begin right there. By changing or removing irrigation systems, choosing your plants wisely, and amending the soil with kitchen compost, mulch, or humanure.
As we increase soil organic content, we enhance the ability for maintaining more soil moisture for our plants. Everything kind of boils down to how do we make the most with our limited resources. And all of this relates always back to watershed and water conservation.
Back at his home, Joe Sillin says he'll continue to look for ways to save water and other resources. His experience has been part of an ongoing evolution, he says, which he wants to share and hopes will inspire.
I definitely see our resources as limited and this planet is precious. So we've got to do what we can to preserve it and to make it better. So I'm certainly endeavoring to do my part.